The George Washington University, at the intersection of policy, practice, and research, connecting all that Washington has to offer with an intellectual environment that drives progress, transforming vision into action, offering learning experiences that are rigorous, real-time, and real-world. In a city shaping the future, George Washington is a place where faculty and students don't just study the world, they work to change it.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome back for some more EGFC SSBU. A lot of letters and even more fun. I'm still Septilins, and that handsome man is still Miles. But the change is the schools we're going to be bringing you right here, right now. We've got Mississippi State University going up against George Washington University. And Miles, this is going to be, I'll call it interesting. This is going to be quite the matchup, I think.
Yeah, George Washington University has a reputation as kind of Titan Slayers here and in the EGF. I think they upset Mississippi. That's how they got their reputation at some point. The issue is they've had that reputation as Titan Slayers, and they've been working really hard. They've been getting like 15, 16 games. They've been almost winning, but they haven't been able to live up. They haven't slayed any Titans yet, but look who's back. Their old nemesis. Well, can you really call it? It's a little bit one rivalry. It's nemesis, like Period the Platypus and Doofenshmirtz. Like,
yeah, I think that was a great way to put it, honestly. Yeah, so this could be interesting. Two of, if not the two strongest players from each of their teams, respectively, going toe-to-toe straight away. We've got MIA versus Rip Van Winkle. Rip, of course, rocking and rolling with that Wii Fit trainer, and MIA going to be bringing out that Mario. This is going to be back and forth. Honestly, I'm very excited to see which one of these is going to run away with it. MIA is probably the best Mario in the EGFC, and Rip Van Winkle is the only Wii Fit trainer, so this is kind of the battle of the niches.
Ooh, and this is great, a platform extension, but great DI out right there away from the platform, which gives you an opportunity to get a landing there. But sometimes when you get that stray hit out of a combo, you're not quite ready to convert off of it.
Sure, yeah, and converting off combos is, of course, the name of the game, right? It's super important to see if that opportunity is going to appear. Rip goes for that neutral charge, that salute the sun, but not able to land it. I've got to say, I love MIA's utilization of these fireballs. Now, Mario doing Mario things, grab into back throw, as every Mario loves to do. And let's see if that's going to kind of be the name of the game here for MIA as we move forward.
Yeah, and I just checked, it was Mississippi State who they consider their main rivals. And they've got a coach, too. They have been training for this for a while. So this right here is George Washington University's chance to really reclaim their reputation. This is the stakes that have been set up. And, well, they're being doused a little bit as MIA just refuses to play around with that soccer ball.
Honestly, I can't say I blame him. That soccer ball goes insane. It is a great ability. It's a great combo starter as well for Rip Van Winkle to really engage off of Mario. And I love the intentional dodging of this soccer ball over and over. It's almost as if MIA is playing with a soccer ball of his own, bringing out those fireballs every single time. And oh, poor Rip rolls right into his own disaster. This is just the MIA show all day right now.
What I want to compliment MIA on is how consistent they are. Mario combos aren't necessarily the hardest, but to hit them every single time you get your opener, that's truly impressive.
Yeah, that's a great point.
To get the down tilt, they're getting the ladder up, and they try to keep reading this air dodge.
That is going to be the name of the game in its highest degree, is just read city if you're able. Well, we're waiting now to see, will MIA even lose this first stock, Miles? I mean, 161, the salute, the sun doesn't take him out. He's not even hit by the soccer ball. Oh my goodness, this Mario refuses to go down, and this fireball utilization just goes absolutely insane. 170 on the board, but MIA, tough as nails, trying to find that 3-stock early for Mississippi.
And at this point, it's getting kind of dire. It's looking like this point differential is going to spiral out of control, but the salute the sun will finally connect in. We're going to miss that deep breathing. Going to have to run off stage to do it now. You have to get off stage versus Mario. Tries to go for the hard read, but that's going to get you punished.
Ooh, speaking of punish, Rip Van Winkle going to get caught out by MIA's forward smash pretty aggressively there. Fireball is going to miss, giving Rip actually a great opportunity to find some more damage, but Mario loves to breakdance more than he loves to fight, and he's going to find that elimination hyper fast onto Rip Van Winkle after touching the ground. 170 on the board, but MIA, tough as nails, trying to find that 3-stock early for Mississippi.
170 Yeah, MIA coming in clutch, and I feel like Mario was really kind of the best person to send it. I mean, obviously, I feel like any of the Mississippi State roster could put up a fight against Rip Van Winkle, but Mario in general is just such good option coverage, and it makes it so difficult to really breathe as we fit.
Right.
Because no matter where you are, like even coming back to the stage, they did this twice where they throw the fireball and hit the header back while it's pretty much in Wii Fit's hands.
Yeah. I liked what you said there. I think Mario really was a great kind of, not really counter pick, but just a good coincidence there for Mississippi that they're able to bring that out. And oh, poor Rip. That's going to be damaging. I'm pretty sure he goes down almost immediately after this as well. Soccer ball dodged out. And then, yeah, I was going to say, I don't think it's much longer before that second stock is taken. Phenomenal. I mean, almost as good could be start there for MIA.
Yeah, the movement has also been impeccable. Like, they've been very precise. Again, there are just a lot of things that are a little bit harder to do on Wi-Fi that make Mario a little less consistent. Getting a dash forward into your up air out of most of your, you know, your down tilts, your down throws. Oh, yeah, there's the breakdance. Thank you, Devin.
Never seen somebody breakdance with so much anger in them. You know, he's just really getting it all out.
You can really notice how angry Mario is in his, I mean, obviously you want to get that fight and you want to get pumped up for all of your attacks, but he's like furious with these people.
Yeah, no, he's just every move he's got, he just looks so angry. Oh my goodness, it is, I don't know, Mario's got some demons, he's trying to fight his way through them, and it looks like the first demon might be his personal trainer. So we're gonna see how this falls out in our second stage here. I'm not sure what the second stage is. It looks like we're going to small battlefield. Now this is gonna be interesting because I feel like Wii Fit Trainer needs to try and stay away from Mario, but all of a sudden there's so few places to go.
Wow. Okay. It's been a while since I've seen my good old buddy Crom, but he hasn't gotten any less consistent. The only trouble is his recovery, but if he didn't have that recovery, he'd probably be like top 3 in the game. Like, he's that consistent.
Yeah, very, very much so. A very popular and, more popular character that we see sometimes. And I wonder if they're going for kind of that hard-hitting Crom, very similar to a lot of other Fire Emblem characters, just hits like a bus, just does so much damage. Already almost exactly double percentage here. Rip Van Winkle 88 and MIA just reaching that 60 threshold. But speaking of hitting like a bus, that's going to be a great way to start things off.
Jab back there, that's the name of the game. The safest kill confirm that Crom has. You just throw out that jab, it hits ledge, it hits anywhere you'd like it to hit, but this is where the struggle is. Crom couldn't have early up B there. They still would have died. That is Crom's recovery. It has no drift. You have to go at it from below the ledge. And Rip Van Winkle knows that. They know that is their win condition.
Yeah, the win condition is definitely on the table right now. It's going to be all about finding the window to open it. Oh my goodness. I feel like Rip Van Winkle really struggling with primary engagements right now. And that just seems to be kind of the engagement they need. It feels like every time Rip gets anywhere close, MIA is just all over it.
Yes, deep breathing is now online to maybe try and make up this deficit, but the soccer ball is blocked. That back air to shield though, throwing the legs back. It's such a fast option and it lets you drift away with it with Wii Fit's aerial drift.
Oh, the aerial drift is something that you think would perhaps work out a little bit better for Rip, but MIA, I've got to say also, to swap from Mario to Crom, the playstyles aren't particularly similar, so to be so successful back-to-back like this, I mean, it's just phenomenal.
Yes, barely able to make it back right there. I was actually kind of concerned because I'm like, I know Crom's recovery is bad, but it's not that bad, right? And I was right, as they are getting the read on the roll in. Think of how many kills they've gotten off of that, but that's the first time they've gone all the way off stage like that just to finish off Rip Van Winkle. And, well, that's a well-deserved read right there. MIA taking an early lead from Mississippi State.
Yeah, MIA taking a pretty convincing lead as well. Rip Van Winkle really not able to find just the appropriate footing and the spacing to make the combos that Wii Fit is so comfortable with, so consistent to use. I mean, I just gotta say, what a phenomenal showing from MIA there. I'm still so impressed. we saw.
And I as well, Septilence. In general, I liked how we saw a little bit of everything Chrom had to offer.
Yeah.
We saw the Gimps, like this, or that's more of a spike, but I think they were dead anyway. We saw the Jer, we saw the Reeds, and the thing about Chrom is you have the speed to cover pretty much any option. Zooming in, charging a smash attack, you can just go wherever you want and counter wherever you want, because you don't have to worry as much about spacing as you do with Roy.
Yeah, right. And that's interesting. You know, I feel, because I believe Chrom is a shadow fighter of Roy, if I'm not mistaken. So it's interesting that, you know, as similar as some other shadow fighters can be, there's actually a couple of pretty large differences between the two of them, and I wonder if that's going to be, I don't know, something we can see further down the line. Just, is there ever going to be a pocket Roy from MIA, or has this just kind of started and ended with Chrom?
I don't know if you're going to go from Chrom to Roy. Usually people pick one or the other. The one Roy we might see is, I know Cranberry has a pretty nasty Roy on George Washington University. They have, honestly, I like Cranberry. Cranberry is one of their new talents who is just looking deadlier and deadlier. I think I kept calling them the most improved because they looked pretty good. Sure. They looked like one of those good players on every team, but by the end, they were a legitimate threat to anyone they played. I think Cranberry is one of the contenders who might bring this back for George Washington University, but it's still Mississippi State.
Yeah, and I'm waiting to see who's going to be coming in next. And unfortunately, it's not Cran, but I don't think I recognize either of these names. So if you know anything about them.
Well, let me hop on over there and take a look. Yeah, it looks like it's going to be Index Right. I'm actually not sure who that is, but Ken Manito, ooh.
Oh, Kimonito. Wait, Kimonito.
Yes, yes.
Now that I've heard someone say it out loud, that name does sound familiar.
Yeah, Kimonito. I apologize. It's been a long Christmas break, Kimonito. I will remember you as soon as you come back on. However, it's been a hot second.
Watch me be wrong. That'll be something special. I'm pretty sure it's Kimonito.
No, we have seen Kimonito before, and
I remember the hero.
Yeah,
the character rather.
Either way,
Rosalina.
George Washington has told me they're confident in their ability to beat these higher up teams because of their consistency throughout the roster. They're slowly but surely building a solid core of 5 players with plenty of subs that they feel they have a very similar level of skill. There's no one peak between them, and they think that gives them an advantage against teams that are kind of held up by one really strong player. The issue is Mississippi isn't really like that.
Yeah, right. Mississippi, I mean, their whole roster, I'm trying to think. I know I have it written down in here somewhere. I just want to focus on.
Yeah, I mean, just going down Mississippi's roster, you've got Yosefu on the Simon, which, I mean, do they need any introduction? For a long while, they were considered the best Simon Belmont player in the world up until they were overtaken. And they got Mr. Man on the ZSS.
Yeah, and if I'm not mistaken, which I don't think I would be, this feels like a pretty important thing to remember. Mississippi won the EGFC last year, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
They came out on top. They were technically still are the defending champs, and that is by no means, too, like you said, a single one of them. The entire team, the entire roster we saw last year felt unstoppable.
Yeah, EGF is a league where it's very hard for one player to carry you all the way there. 8 points is a lot of points if you can get that win, but it's still only 8 points. If everyone else isn't able to pull their weight in the slightest, you're still going to be behind by a serious margin. So we'll see if George Washington's consistency has gotten to the level where they can once again threaten Mississippi State, or if Mississippi State will retake their pride and take back their one upset loss last year.
That would be, that would be expected, I'm going to be honest. Mississippi, they were good. I think they've gotten nothing but better. I think this team is incredible down the line. I mean, like you said, Yosefu and MIA, and they just have some real incredible talent. And Index Right, who we've never seen before. If they're anything like the rest of the roster, I assume it's going to be quite the show.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited to see him too. This is a match I remember we interviewed Mississippi State in week 8 right before the holiday break. And I'm like, so you're taking this one seriously? And they're like, we take all our matches seriously, but George Washington University, I mean, we got to take that one seriously in particular, just because they've proven that if we don't take them completely seriously, third time saying that word, then it's still going to be bad. So we're going in. It's going to be the Rosalina and Luma coming out from Caminito, and now it's all coming back to me.
Yeah, no, as soon as I finally found them while you were talking, I was like, wait, Rosalina? I was like, hold on a second. I believe that's just regular pit. I can never tell, to be honest. I feel like I see them so rarely. I struggle to remember which is which. So we've got two. It's dark. I hate it here. I can't believe I had a 50-50. I still got it wrong. But either way, this is super interesting. I feel like these are characters that we don't see very often. Certainly Rosalina less than Dark Pit, but definitely neither of them are top contenders, so to speak. So this is almost like a battle of the mids.
Not at all, as they're able to get a nice little up tilt right there, but it's immediately reversed, as now they have you off stage. They cover the high recovery option with the arrow, and then they're immediately in place for the ledge trap. Very nice positioning from Index Right to constantly put on pressure.
Pressure is definitely the name of the game with Dark Pit, and it looks like the Luma is tanking a lot of damage here, but Caminito just cannot, unfortunately, find the opening they need. I feel Luma a great damage tank, but you also really need it to set up a lot of Rosalina's combos. I've got a hunch, Kilomiles, this is probably going to be one of our slower games.
It's quite possible, Zipflins, because, again, it's optimal to wait until Luma is dead to get a hard approach in. So just keep chucking those arrows in. Luna goes down, and look what's going to happen. Index Right is going to seize their opportunity to stack up some damage on Caminito and hopefully steal away this kill before that little old star comes back. But instead they dip pretty low. They have to use all their jumps to get back up. A very linear recovery. They're just barely able to make it back.
Yeah, just really able to make it back into the swing of things. And Caminito now 140%. That is quite a lot for, I mean, pretty much any character in the game. You're getting into the 140s, 150s. Anybody is going to struggle to stay alive. And now Luma going to go down again, but Rosalina still standing strong. Going to miss a crucial up smash there. It's not going to find the purchase it wants. Grab into up throw, racking up a bit, but the up air not going to land. However, Dark Pit's back air certainly will.
Yeah, and with that kill, it's looking pretty nice. That just upping off of the ledge, honestly, I don't hate it. It's just a good burst option. It's like Min-Min's up B. You're just getting out of dodge if you can. As at this point, you're trapped between Rosalina and Luma, and it's like a little puzzle. Which do you choose? One tells only damage, and one also tells damage? Wait, what? I think we're on the wrong metaphor here.
My feed like disappeared for a second. Am I back? Can I hear?
Oh, I believe so. I can hear you at the very least.
Yeah, I don't know what happened there. My feed like kind of disappeared. Seem to be back into the swing of things, and hopefully Caminito can find himself in the swing of things here in just a minute. Really not in bad shape, right? Like down, but certainly not out. There's definitely some great opportunities here for Caminito to turn it around, and perhaps that's starting right now.
Ooh. They call out that side B right there, and they have to call that out, because if they waited a little longer, there would have been super armor on that side B. But instead, they perfectly timed it. They got the up smash kill, and even though Luma is gone and you're being rapid jabbed, you are still on the same stock as Index Right. Luckily, Rosalina, the potential to go into orbit. Ooh, not able to make it back to ledge, though. A footstool and a spike off stage right there. It took a lot, but finally you can put that Rosalina down.
Yeah, Rosalina finally going to drop down to that third and final stock. This is going to be a great moment, actually. Some huge progress out of the Dark Pit. She makes it back on the stage. Rosalina's recovery is just so weird to look at. She does little flips and whatnot. That's great. Okay. Definitely a weird matchup there. Nobody lands. I mean, actually, they land quite a few hits, but nobody's going to find any damage off the back of them. Now, a complete stock advantage here for this Dark Pit. That's going to be a great opportunity moving forward for Mississippi.
And the reason all this positioning is so slow and precise is, again, if you let Luma just run wild, then you kind of run mayhem? Okay. Normally, the win condition, the condition to approach is to wait until Luma is off cooldown. But they had Luma gone, and instead they waited until Luma was back, gentleman's agreement, and then goes in. Maybe they were just trying to ice out Caminito, get in their head a little bit, saying, I have the lead, you have to approach. But even so, that was still a little bit odd from Index Right. And they're going to be off stage with Luma back in play regardless.
Oh, dang! I guess second time is not the charm in that scenario. That is going to be Dark Pit losing his second stock, and now I've got to say, this is the closest we've been since 0-0 at the beginning of the game. This is going to be a huge opportunity. And Kilomiles, I mentioned, I thought this was going to be one of our slower games of the day. There is less than 2 minutes on the clock right now.
Yeah, there is. Oh! The child! It's gone!
The child!
Luma just got obliterated in a black hole, but hey, you got another one just fine. You're fine. You're doing okay. As the Luma gets sent out towards the ledge, but it's not even going to aid in the ledge trap. You're going to be getting out scot-free.
Oh. All right, I was going to say, speaking of getting off scot-free, I'm not sure if Kiminito is going to be able to, but wow, barely able to grab the ledge. 121 and counting. A great setup there from Kiminito, but unfortunately, no follow-up to take that stock off the left side of the stage. Looking for a shot opportunity now. Going to find some damage, but can you find a little bit more? No! Falls victim to the up air. Dark Pit going to be able to walk away with that first game 6.5 minutes later.
With a lead like that, I could definitely feel Index Right sweating a little bit as... I mean, look at this. They almost lost right here. With that rage, that probably would have killed, but thanks to that shield, they had the protection to jump right back up and helicopter blade that Rosalina straight on out of here.
That Rosalina, yeah, on the express line straight out of here, trying to follow all the Lumas that were taken down in her glory. Oh, this is going to sound so mean, and this is by no means an insult to these players, but I hope we see different characters next time. I don't like Dark Pit, I don't like Rosalina, so I would like to see maybe a little faster, a little more conventional character swaps, but, you know, a win is a win. I get it, they want to rack up as many points as possible, so they're certainly not going out of their comfort zone to do so.
Yeah, not at all. Yeah, honestly, it's funny. Every single time Index Right goes for one of those ledge traps right there, they just get, or they go for the side B rather, they get punished so hard. And yeah, here was the finisher right there. The helicopter straight back up.
Yeah, that was
flawless.
Very unfortunate, honestly. Went for a kill confirm of their own, I think went for the up air, and then double jumped right into his hitbox, and then the Dark Pit up aired, and that was just going to be the end of that. A really good start for Mississippi so far. They're finding themselves up 7-0, but believe it or not, folks, as long as that was only the first game of that series. So we've got at least one more. A little unfortunate. Like I said, by no means the player's fault. So those are just two characters that play very slow, and that can a little mundane if we're being honest. But either way, we're excited to see either of these players walk away with a win. I'm also eager to find out what the next stage is going to be. It looks like they're banning as we speak, and it's just small battle.
It's just small battlefield.
So we go from battlefield, small battlefield.
I mean, I don't see how that changes anything, if I'm gonna be honest. Like, they didn't utilize the center platform at all. If anything, it just opens them up for a little more juggling. Like, you're not gonna get extensions, but you're just going to have less options when you're landing. And I feel like that is pretty beneficial, if I'm being honest. So I look forward to see how that impacts them, as we are going to be having the run back, but they are getting a better feel for each other's habits. We're seeing a little more committal options. So we'll see if they're able to get maybe a little more mileage done.
I'm also a little excited because small battlefield forces them to interact a little more often, so that may speed up the pace of things. We may be seeing a little more consistent engagement, if you will.
And Rosalina not having any of this nonsense right now. They're able to just slowly but surely manipulate Luma to where they want them, and more importantly, not just manipulating Luma, but baiting Index Right in for trying to bait them with these retreating back airs. This is pulling Luma all the way back, like reeling in a fishing rod to pull Index Right towards them for a better combo.
Yeah, we're definitely seeing a big change of pace from Kiminito here, and I wonder if that's going to be, you know, like you said, are they just learning this Dark Pit's kind of combos, or their engagements a little more often? Committing the Luma, sending Luma into the unknown there, going to be able to recover it 120 to 11, so Kiminito large and in charge, Luma taken offline, so now you've got to get up close and personal to find these engagements, but are the engagements going to follow through appropriately? No, this Dark Pit Index is really racking up some damage.
Ooh, and Luma came back almost in time to assist in that up smash, but I don't think they actually did. It might have killed otherwise. But Luma approaching very steadily, but going right on top again. That's not safe on shield, and Rosalina just demonstrated that. So Index Red going to be punished hard for not learning from their mistakes.
Yeah, learning from your mistakes is certainly the name of the game. It looks like Kiminito may have that play style where, like you said, they're getting quite consistent at punishing these same plays that Index brought out in Game 1, starting to make them work very well here in Game 2. But maybe not as well as we want. 101 to 37. On the bright side, we've got a great opportunity here in terms of the game moving a little bit faster. We're already down a stock. It only took 2 minutes, 3 minutes, a while is the point. 101% to 61. And I've got to wonder as well if this has some kind of... Earlier I talked about this in the last series. I talked about how it was really difficult to play against King DDD in Game & Watch because you're not super familiar with the play styles. And I wonder if we're just seeing that again here, but from both sides.
Ooh. Yeah, no, I do definitely agree. I feel like with a little more familiarity, there might be a little more exploitation. But like, I feel like Index Right is playing the matchup right, and then they get in, and they're not even able to get that much damage. And I know Pit doesn't have the craziest combos, but you can still maybe convert a little more off of this than you are. Like, they're playing these massive, intricate chessboard neutral interactions for like a stray hit and then moving apart again because they know there's a chance of a counter hit.
There's an opportunity of a counter hit in there somewhere, but all things considered, it's just not working out very well. About 100% differential here right now, and Index maybe biting the bullet, but Dark Pit, very long recovery. Ooh, I thought the shield was going to break for a second there, but the kill does finally come through, and Kiminito only one stock away from taking us all the way to that Game 3.
Looking very nice, very clean right now, Kiminito. We still got a lot to worry about at the moment. Ooh, Luma's popped like a bubble, and now faced with the challenge of trying to get back to stage. Index Right again on their last stock. They're trying to get this edge guard as best they can. They're going very deep against the Rosalina, even though that has gotten them reversaled before, because even though they're hitting one spike, they're never hitting a second one.
Yeah, absolutely. They hit the one, but the odds of a second definitely doesn't feel as possible here. And I'm just getting a little bored of Killer Miles. I gotta be honest.
I get you, Seth.
We're chugging along here. We've got 3 minutes left.
But there's a good extension. Using the Luma to pop up them. But again, they have all these techniques, but they're not quite executing them as they need to secure the kill. They're just kind of showing off. Like, both of these players have pretty clean movement, pretty clean confirms. They're just not really hitting them on each other. And that's just dragging this out as they both fish for these neutral openings. And finally, pushing Luma forward, getting the up smash. This is safe, calculated play. And the safety does award 2 points on the board for Kiminito as we're going to a Game 3.
Oh my goodness, Kiminito finally going to be clutching out this matchup here.
Ooh. Little bit at a time. Come on in. You know the water's fine. There it is.
Oh man, this looks like Kiminito. wait. Oh wait, 1 frame at a time. We get to watch Dark Pit die all over again. The kill confirmed screen and everything. Oh my goodness. Sent into the stars by a star himself. How poetic. I love to see it.
Nice. It looks like the... Hold on. Go back a second. It looks like the run animation right there is like Dark Pit like leaning forward as if you're doing the Michael Jackson like Thriller. Like look, he starts to walk forward and he just like leans forward right into, like, I guess that is how some people run, but come on, have some proper posture. You gotta hurt your back.
You gotta wonder, if he hadn't leaned forward, would he have been hit? The world may never know. Oh my goodness, this is the most entertaining part of this series so far. Watching Dark Pit get his butt whooped by a Luma. That is satisfying, I must say. Either way, moving all the way to Game 3, and I'm excited because if Kiminito, oh my, whoa, hold on, I'm gonna start that sentence. if Kimonito can clutch this out, the scoreline's going to be a lot closer. If we see even a one-stock victory here, we'll be looking at a 5-7. But if Index is able to turn this around, that's going to put them in double digits.
Ooh, and they went very deep for that. They get the ledge trump right there, hoping to cover that landing with the nair, but unfortunately does not connect. And now once again, Index is getting confident enough to go deep. But even though they're going deep and getting the hit, Dark Pit just doesn't have the tools to really convert off of that hit. You get a nair sometimes, but you just fall out of it. It's unfortunate that this character's multi-hits just sometimes don't work.
I wish we just had like a Luma death counter in the corner of the screen, because I feel like Luma has died like 100 times in the last 15 minutes. Oh my goodness, this is gonna be another one? Goodbye, Luma? Okay, no, we're making it this time.
You're fine.
Back to the engagement though. Kimonito struggling on the same kind of... They're like on the other side of the scale they were in game 2, if that makes any sense. They started out super strong, super aggressive engagements, and it felt like Index wasn't able to find the opportunity to engage, but now it feels like Kimonito, like you mentioned earlier, kind of playing chess, going in for one hit every here and there, and then just really struggling to survive otherwise.
Yeah, as holding onto this platform, that's the intelligent thing to do for Rosalina, and it really puts the pressure on Index right to find a way in. They go for the fullest of hops, burning all their double jumps to float gently down towards Rosalina, but by the time they get down, Pit's not the fastest faller, so Luma has been recalled and the situation resets. But finally, at ledge, you're able to connect the back air.
Oh, what a great hit. I think Luma's got more kills than Kimonito right now. Oh my goodness. Another huge opportunity there. Index going to lose that first stock, down to their second. And now this is probably the closest we've been since game 1.
Yes, it has been. As Luma, again, I love how recalling the Luma has a hitbox like that. Just pulling her back just gives you such an opportunity to punish as you throw out these star bits again and again and again. It's so tough to get in, and you bait them in. It's like Isabel reeling in her fishing hook. You just get yanked right towards Rosalina for a follow-up. But if you don't deal with Luma, then you're going to get star bits thrown in your face.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, dealing with Luma, maybe that's what happened here early, as Index was able to control Luma a little bit more, and now that Kimonito is playing around that, finding the opportunities to succeed, that could be kind of what Index is struggling with, that same idea of not being able to handle the Luma. Because I feel Kimonito almost plays Luma better than they've been playing Rosalina, if that makes any sense.
So there's a Luma up smash for you, Sep. As Luma just gets smacked right away from that ledge, and now Rosalina's Lumaless. And you can see Index right trying to get in for the finisher right there, going for a tech chase on the platform, but they can't quite connect anything yet. But that spike into the up air will be true.
I'm pro Luma, anti Rosalina. I think the Luma's is cool, but just because he's a silly little guy, you know what I mean? And speaking of which, all right, he's down for the count. 110 to 107. We are nearly 4 minutes into this. There's a 3% differential. Now it is only 9. And it's going to be a lot of patience here, Kilomiles, from us, from the players, from chat. We've just got to wait for Luma to do his thing and find that kill. He's going to be able to do just that. Kimonito in a really good position to possibly turn this around, but there's still plenty of room for Index to turn this back in Mississippi's favor.
Yeah, Kimonito needs to win this here and now because they finally got a red Luma matching their dress, and that's going to make a really cool victory screen, so I'm really hoping that they're able to pull this together. But unfortunately, it looks like after those couple stray hits, oh, there's something though. An air dodge off stage. Now you have a ledge trap situation. Can Luma help finish this off? Rosalina positioning them there as Kimonito dashes forward with the back air, but it's not able to connect either. Very low recovery.
If Kimonito kills with Luma, Luma will have secured all 3 stocks in this game. And that's a fun little thing in its own right, but Kimonito's certainly looking for it. Going to be falling off stage. A dangerous thing to do when Pit and Dark Pit have that side special, the lightning punch, whatever it's called. I don't know. But it's a very strong ability at that. Now Luma taken offline once again. And I want to talk about, look at that hard focus there from Index on the Luma. I think that's what was happening in game 1. The opportunity to kill and slay these Lumas time and time again. And then the capitalization just unfortunately could not come through. But now Index is looking to kill this Luma once again, and that may be what he needs. But Luma with the 3rd and final kill of the round, going to give Kimonito the victory here at the end of it all. That's going to be huge here for George Washington.
Yeah, that's very good. It's 5-7 now, and I need to see that again. Did Luma's F smash? Luma's just kill it like 76%?
Oh,
like I know you're at the ledge, but like that I don't know, that just seems early to me. That's okay, 78. Not as like that looked like it killed hard. Like
Yeah,
that was a
yeah.
fast kill.
I don't know if it was bad DI or what, but that definitely looked like it was just taking him clean offline. Gotta say, huge credit to Luma though. I think most elims across the series.
MVP going to Luma. Kemonito, though, close second right there
Definitely.
for positioning Luma in those positions. Did you see that? Throwing them right off ledge to interrupt the side B. The side B has been a big invitation to punish. So in game 3, we saw almost 0 side B, and that'll be the finisher right there. Again, I do think... I do think that was just a clash of play styles that was just kind of unfortunate because when you have two... Well, Septilance will be back in just a moment, but when there's something like that, a clash of play styles, it can often be challenging to really figure out, there we go. Hello,
I'm back?
hello. You're back. You're alive.
My feed is just gone. Oh, there! I don't know what just happened. Anyway, I'm back. My router probably reset because, you know, silly, goofy Septilance and nowhere. I live in the void. Anyway, yeah, I think the Clash of Playstyles is a great point, honestly. I heard everything. You guys just couldn't see or hear me, but I think the Clash of Playstyles is definitely what we were seeing there, and I think that, in turn, created a much longer series as neither of them could really engage long-term.
No, but as we're going into it now, some of these players very fast-paced, especially very fast-paced for their characters, as it's gonna be Cranberry coming in from George Washington University. This is the player who I shouted out as who I believe to be the most improved player here on George Washington University since their original debut. Cranberry, I think they started out on maybe a Wolf, I want to say. Maybe a Falco. It was a Spacey, but they went to the Roy and they've been sticking to that ever since. And oh man, that Roy packs a punch.
Yeah. Absolutely, and we've got to talk about the fact that coming out of the side of Mississippi State is going to be none other than Mr. Man, who I know the name, but I can't place a character in my head quite yet.
It's a 0-2 right
okay,
there.
yeah, that checks out, and I recall Mr. Man being quite the powerhouse on his entirety.
Yeah, I mean, you could say that about almost anyone.
Very true.
Anyone who lists, oh yeah, these people, they are for sure starters, and they've got like 4 people, they're like, yeah, they're pretty much, they can be anchors. Yeah, that's gonna be brutal. But Cranberry is, I think, one of the George Washington players most likely to take someone off them, and 6-7, not terrible right now. Not terrible in the slightest. You might be able to bring this back if Cranberry pops off. They were looking most improved at the end of the fall split, and they've had all of winter to improve, so we'll see how that benefits them now as here in this third game, Cranberry taking on Mr. Man.
All right, it looks like we just got our stage choice as well. We're going to be jumping over to Smashville for only the second time today in the 2 series. We're seeing Smashville, and if it is going to be Roy v ZSS, which I'd be shocked if Mr. Man brought out anything else. Cranberry, I know lesser so, but do you give either of them kind of an initial advantage jumping into this?
As with literally everyone on Mississippi, you've got to favor Mr. Man.
Of course.
I mean, oh. The Ditto.
Oh boy!
The Ditto. You were asking if we were going to see a Roar later. I'm like, oh, maybe Cranberry. Now you got 2 for the price of 1.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, this is going to be, as our producer just said, this is going to be an explosive matchup. I mean, pun intended or not, we're going to get a lot of damage very quickly. And this is going to be really just who can find the most aggression or the most damage as quickly as possible.
Oh, but that jab back here right there at the ledge is going to put Cranberry in an unfortunate position, but that early horizontal up B is going to get you back to the ledge. Now you're going to have to respect that a little more. Know that Cranberry has the awareness to go for those early up Bs, and Mr. Man just going, getting these fast forward short hops right at ledge, pressuring you all around, flying through the air like a big blazing sword. They're unable to be touched, but finally Cranberry gets the forward tilt. Now it's a ledge trap situation for them.
Yeah, Yeah, it's going to be the battle of the ledge traps here, perhaps, and already 126 to 115. And knowing Roy's, I mean, this number could continue to climb for a decent while, or it can get capped out at 147. Mr. Man losing that first stock. Cranberry starting strong, but perhaps not strong enough. Only a hit or two away from losing that first stock as well.
Ooh, but that could have been a big start right there. Oh, they get the up air chains going. 44% already, and you've still got them above you, but the Nair is finally going to be punished. Now you're off stage, but it was only a sour spot, so you're not going to be killed. Oh, they got greedy, though, fishing for an up air instead of a clean back air punish or something like that. Parrying the jab as well. Cranberry, though, playing a very grounded game, but finally gets caught by the Jair.
Yeah, finally going to get caught out. It's going to be a huge opportunity. Oh my goodness, and another up B. I mean, everybody take a drink of water every time we see an up B, and we will be so hydrated by the end of this. It'll be crazy. You have no idea. It's going to be up B battles here. 54 to 64%. Killer Miles, I've got such a gut feeling this is going to be like a last stock, last hit kind of game. There's a 0.1 difference right now. Okay.
Yeah, but finally Mr. Man gets a slight edge. Ooh, that Nair 1 combo 2 into the charge forward smash. Oh, they're getting a read on the defensive habits right there. The air dodge to ledge punished so hard. But now Cranberry has to do a lot to make it up. And that spike, that's a nice place to start it.
Yeah, that was a phenomenal setup there for Mr. Man, honestly. And Cranberry goes in a little too aggressive, perhaps, gets punished for it, but not nearly enough. Mr. Man down to that third and final stock as well. I hate to say it, but I really think we're looking at a last stock, last hit scenario, unless one of these two really just pull something out of nowhere. Right now, a 50% lead for Mr. Man, but as we've seen, that lead can disappear in the blink of an eye. A perfect parry coming out from Cranberry to turn the map around, but no engagement off the back of it, not enough at least to really turn the tide.
Trying to set up this tech situation. They want it so bad, but they're not able to find it. Is they can't get these wet noodle slash from the tower spot. The spacing wasn't right. Cranberry's got to fix that habit now, or maybe just finish off the Mr. Man while they can as Cranberry ties up the series 7-7. George Washington University, they upset Mississippi State once again. Can they do it?
Holy cow, that was so back and forth the entire time. And while it's not super exciting to watch a Roy Ditto as it's usually just up Bs, it's still super entertaining to see how close they can get in terms of percentile before one of them loses. And then, I mean, that was just what a good turnaround from Cranberry, honestly. Things were neck and neck, insanely close. I truly thought Mr. Man was going to have that, but it was Cranberry's aggression off stage to follow Mr. Man out there to confirm that kill that really, I think, flipped that fight in his favor.
Oh, yeah. Sometimes you got to commit to it, and I feel like when you truly main a character, when you truly specialize them, you just have the comfort in knowing, oh, I can go off stage all the way here. Oh, I can commit going off where I can't recover to get this kill here. Yeah, this will be true. Like, just knowing all that without having to think, that's really hard. While Mr. Man was winning in the neutral game, picking up on the habits faster, the comfort on the character, I feel like, really came a long way for Cranberry.
Yeah, absolutely. And now we're going to be jumping over. It looks like our stage is changing to, no surprise, Pokemon Stadium 2 coming out from Roy v. Roy, Mr. Man v. Cranberry. So maybe Mr. Man goes ZSS here, but Killer, you know this game a little bit better than me. Is there any reason he wouldn't go ZSS here? Oh,
well,
just kidding.
There is one reason.
We're actually getting something different, but
it's
also
going to be Sora coming in. Mr. Man, I haven't gotten to see them that much, but I do know that Roy against floaties is both frustrating and terrifying, especially lighter ones. However, when you can just get a gimp like that right off the bat, playing Sora like a rushdown character, running in with the Nair loops, they're able to beat out the more conventional options like side B. But again, these districts have been so tough to deal with.
I actually believe this is the first time I've seen Sora in a competitive setting. I think it's the first time I've had the opportunity to really cast Sora, and I think we can already see a little bit of what you're talking about, Killer Miles. How Sora is so floaty, it may be difficult for Roy to consistently engage. Mr. Man definitely not going for a throw pick here either. We can already see these combo setups making an appearance.
Especially online, a lot of these burst options are really hard to truly react to as they get the Nair 1 into the forward smash. Are you kidding me right now, Mr. Man? Are you kidding me?
Because Mr. Man, I mean, he's about to beat Cranberry faster than any game we've seen today here. That would take us all the way to a game 3 already.
Oh yeah, he is at this point. Oh, dashing back and forth. You're finally able to get very slippery out of that situation. But whoop, they're just not quite able to land anything. The forward smash doesn't even kill, and if you have to rely on only smash attacks to take stock, then I don't have good feelings about how you're gonna be.
Yeah, absolutely. I can't believe Sora lived that last engagement, by the way. When I said, oh, I thought he was dead. I thought he kind of like SD'd the wrong way or something. But no, I forget how insanely floaty Sora truly is. It's pretty insane. Now 136 to 93, pretty close, right? Until you look at the stock count, and then you realize that's going to be a 3-1 advantage here for Mr. Man. Cranberry really just has not been able to properly engage. The Roy v. Roy was so close, was so neck and neck, but now we're definitely seeing how Roy can struggle, like you said, against these floatier characters.
Yeah, and in particular, the fact that you can't really go off stage. You can't touch Sora's shield. You can't go off stage. You can't be within his burst range. This is, I know it's not an unwinnable matchup, but it really felt like it there.
I don't disagree in the slightest, Kilomiles. That was just an incredibly difficult thing to engage. Like you said, you can't. There's so few things as Roy I feel you can appropriately bring to the table against Sora that are going to be kind of a, safe bet, so to speak. And I suspect Mr. Man won't be swapping off of Sora after it's like that, especially because is Cranberry a bit of a specialist? Do we know if he plays anything that isn't Roy?
I mean, he does. I cannot speak to Sora's matchups, though.
Okay,
Sora, though, has some crazy confirms and some very frustrating burst options. Sora has a lot of, like that. Nair into forward smash right there. That's one of the confirms I was talking about. And Sora has a lot of burst options, like up B, like side B, like his neutral special, like his Nair. And he can cycle between all of them so fast that it's hard to really get a grip on where Sora is going to be. Like, I call players slippery a lot. Sora as a concept is slippery.
Yeah, absolutely. I think he is probably the definition of the word at this point in Smash. And I want to see, like I said, Mr. Man, I suspect is going to be bringing out the Sora once again after a performance like that. It's Cranberry I really want to be keeping an eye on to see, is it going to be that Roy? And if it is it going to be, okay, we're going back to map 1. We're going to be jumping back to Smashville. I believe our producer just told us it is Roy Sora, so Miles, I hate to say it, but the odds are certainly not in Cranberry's favor here.
Yeah, George Washington University, after winning that original Ditto, may have run into a wall they weren't quite ready for. Mr. Man, if you do infinite stalling here, okay, thank God. Now, Sentinels, you don't know this, but Sora does have more or less a very hard-to-punish stalling tactic where you can go underneath Smashville. I was very scared for a moment. As you can see, if you dip below the stage, the thunderclouds will still go above it.
Yeah, that's actually kind of insane. Actually, I think I saw a clip of that on Twitter, actually. Now that you say it, that does sound a little bit familiar. But yeah, I've definitely never seen it in this setting. It looks like Cranberry actually with a huge opener. I did not think that was going to kill.
Yeah, back air right there, and wasn't quite DIing fully away on the jab, and that means the back air is free picking. Very low recovery, too, to avoid an early death to the Thundaga. As they made that? Ooh, the magnet hands on that boy.
Magnet hands, getting lucky there, getting a little bit more comfortable than needed, perhaps. And Cranberry now 110, but again, a full stock in the lead, so losing, this first stock isn't going to be the end of the world, but I feel it's super important to get any form of extra credits. Going to the next stock 0-0 is not going to be great. Maybe 7 isn't quite enough to make it worth it yet. Looking for maybe 30s, maybe 40s, but no, that 7 is where that first stock is going to come to a close here on Crim.
And now it's getting pretty even. Oh, but the up air shield, that was a little bit scary, but you're able to escape in the last second. Both of them fishing for a strong confirm right there, and the falling up air is going to be just that for Mr. Man. Cranberry desperately trying to get back to the stage, but every single little commitment they make makes it harder. But that Thundaga actually saved Cranberry's life.
Yeah, that's why I kind of groaned like that, because Cranberry was 100% dead there, but the Thundaga came out, gave him a chance to grab back, and he was able to do just that. However, in the time that Mr. Man has done, probably 140, 150% in total, we've seen only 50% onto Mr. Man, and kiss Cranberry's second stock goodbye. Mr. Man is looking to close this one out aggressively.
And the thing about it, I see a lot of these up Bs coming out, and I feel like that's because you can't really find a way to combo Sora, so what do? You get your move that's going to do the most damage in a quick little burst, but if you miss it, you're going to get punished. You're going to get punished hard.
Yeah, there's definitely going to be a hyper-aggressive punish coming through there. I'm desperately trying to think what Cranberry can do here, but it's that struggle of not being able to engage in any definition of the word. Roy can only play up close and personal, but somehow he's not able to find the successes he needs.
Ooh, snare off a ledge, but you get a nice carry right there. Now you're in kill percent. Maybe Cranberry can get a miracle stock right here as they manage to interrupt the up B. Very nice.
Yes, I think another issue, or less or so an issue kind of assigning for George Washington is even if Mr. Man wins right now without losing that stock, it's only going to be 14-7, and one player can earn up to 8 points. So hypothetically, if the last player from George Washington, or excuse me, the next player from George Washington gets 8 points, it's winnable. Right? I mean, it's not the end of the world, so it definitely could be a good workaround, a good workout, but that is going to be Mr. Man winning the series 2-1. And that is what we like to call that pivotal moment for these teams. So that may be Mississippi State's beginning of the end.
Yeah, and after Caminito fought so hard for those 7 points, and you win the Ditto too, it's gotta hurt to feel that slip away from you as the Sora comes out. And again, it's still so tough because Sora is pretty good. Like, I think Sora is pretty up there, but the issue is there are just so many kill confirms. And sure, you can zone out Sora, you can box out Sora, but all Sora needs to do is guess right once. In the same vein as a Heavy, except his moves are way safer.
Yeah, I think that's a great point on it. Oh my, we're gonna start over. I think that's a great point, honestly, and I'm really curious to see when that Sora progresses, how far is Mississippi willing to take it? Because Mr. Man, like we talked about, I was like, oh, ZSS, I've never seen them play anything else. And then we get, Roy and Sora. So I'm excited to see not only this character development in terms of this character pool opening, but how far can Mr. Man take that? Because as we mentioned, Mississippi State, they are our EGFC winners from last year. And the roster we've seen so far already today shows that this team is just as good, if not better, than they were last year.
Is at this point in the match, it's time for the hammer to fall. It's time to wipe them out. It's going to be Yosefu coming in. Would you like to do the honors? I think you were familiar with Yosefu's initial dominance.
Yeah, so Yosefu, once known as the best Belmont player, I think, in the country, right? Or at least one of. I don't know if it was ever number one, but it was way up there for sure, known as one of the great Belmont players of the United States. And definitely, not saying Yosefu's bad now or anything, I just don't know his current rank. So I've got to talk about what I did know. And that we're going up against someone from George Washington named Pokeblue. I don't know who that is, but I think it's fun their names right.
Yeah. I'm just vibing to this Jet Set Radio music. Shout out to Jet Set Radio. But as Pokeblue, I believe played Pokemon Trainer, but again, George Washington University also, they have switched things up a lot, so I can maybe be mistaken there. I feel like Pokemon Trainer could be a good counter, but I'm not going to talk about that as much as I think we just need to focus on the standard Belmont tactics, like, just dodge. It's like a mini game, just dodge projectiles. That's not how it works against Yosefu. Every dodge you have, it's a bait. They know what the dodges are. They know what the movement to get around the projectiles is, and they already have a hitbox there. So if you go somewhere else, the holy water is there. Like, it is everywhere. It's everywhere.
Yeah, I think Pokeblue's biggest kind of objective, goal, if you will, is to not go off stage at all, because the second you fall off stage to a Belmont, there's the axe, there's the cross, there's the holy water, there's the whip. Like, there is such a little chance of you getting back up, especially against who was at one time the best Simon player in, chat said, the world. So that's pretty insane. I mean, that is nothing to shy away from. We know he's good. I'm sure all these people know he's good, but Pokeblue definitely got some fans in chat as well, and I'm really excited to see, because Pokeblue is an unfamiliar face to us, so I'm very eager to see what they're going to be bringing to the table here, because Yosefu was great, been great, will be great, but I'm excited to see what Pokeblue can do up against Yosefu.
Yeah, I'm excited to see too, as we're finally getting into this match here and now. Let's see if we can fill in the gaps in our information just a little bit.
Mewtwo! What? I know I talk about being excited to see unique characters, but Mewtwo is certainly, I did not think Mewtwo would be on the menu today.
Ooh, and that was a playstyle that was very... It looked like it was almost designed to counter Yosufu, and like I said, George Washington is a very coached team, and they're coming into this really hoping to win it, and they get with just a single hit of Nair, and just like that, they have a lead on Yosufu.
Oh my goodness, a full stock lead. So I feel like Simon, or the Belmonts rather, playing Simon right now, but could really struggle up against a character like Mewtwo. His mobility is going to be super impressive across the board. He might be able to dodge his projectiles. And like I talked about, my big concern was, getting back on the stage. When you could just teleport right onto it, I mean, the projectiles are hardly an issue.
Yeah, there's honestly it's relatively low end lag on that up B, and while Yosuke can eventually recover it, being able to curb your momentum as you use the side B and reflect is crucial. Like, you're able to move in, reflect, and punish.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, PokeBlue already doing an absolutely phenomenal job just keeping Yosufu on his toes. He's mixing it up. He's got the reflector. He's got the teleport. Everything and more. And so far, Yosufu has not been able to respond to it super aggressively. I mean, we're seeing PokeBlue essentially a full stock in the lead still.
Yeah, as that up smash is not going to hit. And now, look at your situation. You got to find a way through the maze. The maze at the moment takes the form of the Shadow Ball, as Yosuke isn't really even able to build up any damage. Mewtwo can pressure the ledge without being in range of that Holy Fire or anything like that. Back goes, that's not going to do it? No, but you've got to find ways around it. Probably up here, a nice idea. Maybe the only one that could have saved you. Blue's not going to drop it.
This might be the first real Mewtwo player I've ever seen. That is really surprising. Oh, no way, what? I was so distracted about the fact that it was Mewtwo. Oh my, what? How long was that last stock? 10 seconds?
Yeah, I hit a high note while that happened. I was not ready for that. Yeah, the down throw right there, and then they mix them up and finish them off with the twister right there. Ooh, the Shadow Claw up in the blast zone. That was painful right there. That cleaved right through their soul.
That is absolutely amazing.
Yep, take a look at this. Forward air right there, and then as soon as they tried to tether to the ledge, you get mixed up, and then you scoop them right back up with the up air, and I think that was just true at that point. Yosuke didn't even look like they inputted anything.
Yeah, that is just... I mean, that was a 0 to death, right? That
Yeah.
Yosuke didn't even get to play the game. That was just...
Yeah.
Wow, spectacular. Oh, that's his jump right there? Is that what we're being shown, Devin? Oh my goodness, and then, wow. Honestly, like I said, I didn't expect a Mewtwo. Full disclosure, I did not expect a good Mewtwo, and we got a great Mewtwo. That was a phenomenal showing from PokeBlue there, and I'm really excited to see how Yosufu's going to respond.
And I feel like the Belmonts are characters that being very coached does help you well with.
Sure.
You can become a Belmont fighting specialist. Like, PokeBlue's just been in the dojo training, or rather in the daycare, leveling up against this specific character. As now, I just want to see this again.
I just can't get over it. I just keep watching. I'm just sitting here. I'm just watching it. Oh,
Just feeling the jump like that, phenomenal. Phenomenal.
just a great showing, truly. I hope somebody did go back and clip that, because I know PokeBlue's going to want that for them. That was truly a phenomenal showing, all things considered. Let's see what Yosufu's response is going to be. I'm curious, is it going to be a specific stage that's been picked? We have a couple banned already, but it looks like they're going through that process now. And is it going to be a huge playstyle change? Maybe. I guess my struggle is I can't really identify what went wrong. Like, no specific thing stands out straight away. It's like, oh, Yosufu, do this, and you're fixed. It was just kind of...
I think we just need to talk about what they did well. What they did well is, again, they used the side B to float towards them and approach while having a shield in front of you, more or less. And then they made sure to time that for specifically, they weren't trying to hit the projectiles back. That wasn't ever the goal. It was just an approach to it. And once they got in, the punish game was on point. And there are some things that neutral can help you with. You need to know your punishes. You need to know what links into what. And a lot of people just don't. They're like, oh, I'm focusing on winning neutral. I'm focusing on why I got hit in the first place. Just don't get hit, lol. But then they don't get hit. They do what they try to do. And they do all that for one hit in neutral. If you have to work that hard for every hit, it's going to hurt.
Yeah.
You don't have to when you're able to get gimps, when you're able to get combos, and most importantly, you're able to get kill confirmed.
Yeah, absolutely. And I believe we're still waiting on a stage pick from Yosefu, so we'll be finding that out in just a minute. And then, of course, after this fourth series, or after this fourth set, we have just one more from each school, and that'll close us out. And I believe I will be leaving, but Killer Miles is here for the long haul, so he will be here for quite a while. I don't even know who's replacing me. Somebody will. Okay, I just heard a character lock in my head, but we still have a stage pick. Okay, there we go. PS2 is going to be our stage pick of choice for the 6th time today. We'll be seeing Pokemon Stadium 2, and it looks like, if I have to guess, Pokeblue's bringing out that Mewtwo. I don't see why you'd change it, and I've never seen Yosefu play something that isn't the Belmont, so I'm really excited to see the rundown.
And I stick to the Belmonts. It's not like that was unwinnable.
Right.
And I do like PS2 a little bit because it is a little harder to go all the way underneath. I don't think you're going to get gimped as easily. Maybe have some recovery shenanigans. And using that up B out of shield, again, I think is going to be crucial. It's a very fast option. It's a very big option. It'll scoop Mewtwo up no matter what, as you're able to keep that constant pressure up right now.
The pressure's on once again, and Yosefu falling into the Belmont expectation of getting them off stage, and it becomes that mini game, that projectile dodge. But I feel Yosefu needs to focus perhaps a little bit more on realizing how easy it is for Pokeblue to get through that, because against almost any other character in the game, those projectiles are gonna hold them at bay. But Mewtwo literally teleports right through them. That was okay. That's exactly what I wanted. A phenomenal read on that teleport. The whip shot comes through, and Pokeblue already up to 130%.
Maybe, but that one was not. Unfortunately, as Yosefu almost punished hard for that, but they do have Pokeblue off the side of the stage. Now things are getting a little dicey, but the up air shield, no, they're still not going to die to that.
Yeah, this is amazing. Pokeblue up to 150, and Mewtwo, I mean, pretty stinking light, so you've got a full rage, 150% Mewtwo, but the Belmonts, I mean, they hit like a bus, a great TP out, probably just saved Pokeblue that stock. And now the pressure's on once again. Projectiles coming out like crazy. Yosefu perhaps getting a little concerned, but it's going to be Pokeblue looking for that kill confirm, not able to land it yet, but there it is. Reads the recovery like a book. Pokeblue up 171, finding that first stock, looking to get ready to take the second.
And that's beautiful right there. Able to just barely get that little hit in. They're just facing these back here, slowly but surely approaching, and just like that, it's even once again. I feel like the biggest thing is early stock. You know how long Pokeblue lived. It took forever to kill them that first stock. And Pokeblue is getting early kills like this one, getting early percents like this one, 71%.
And I would definitely want to focus on something that I've brought up actually a weird amount today. We've seen a lot of really unique character choices, but another reason Yosefu may be, I don't want to say struggling, but may not be winning as convincingly as Yosefu normally does is there's no chance he's at home practicing Mewtwo matchups. You know what I mean? Like it's going to be really hard to counterplay a character you're definitely not super familiar with. It seems like Yosefu is doing a phenomenal job adapting on the spot, getting a lot better at not falling for the same tricks coming out from Pokeblue, and that may help him win this at the end of it.
Ooh, goes for that big confirm right there, but not going to find it. Instead, just mixing up the DI and get the up throw in the end. And even though Yosefu did have the correct DI, it was still a stare down his lifetime. Now at this point, you're just pressuring with these light shadow balls, but the whip will actually go straight through the shadow ball. Very nice.
Good enough, right? I mean, hey, that works out. So Yosefu down 28% on that final stock, and Pokeblue doubling the percentage on the table, 112 now for Pokeblue's second stock, but I mean, that is truly not enough to scare a Mewtwo, at least not this one. Oh, he loves that Nair.
Not gonna be scared at all. But oh! Yeah.
Clean as a whistle.
Yeah, up being that high up is gonna steal away the stock, and now you have a bit of an advantage. I mean, you're still down a significant bit. You're still being tech chased on the platform. But one good holy fire, and you might just have your opening.
Yeah, one half
potential.
Yeah, one half decent combo is gonna rack, 30, 40% onto this Mewtwo. Hopefully neither of them are gonna go for the SD here. Oh, no way! Oh, wow!
And
talk about timing!
And with 3 more points added to their name, suddenly, even though it's a little bit thin, it's a little bit tricky, this is a winnable game for George Washington University.
We're at 12-14 right now? 14-12? All right. Even if George Washington loses, I have seen teams get absolutely obliterated by Mississippi State. So the fact that they're even able to make it this close is an incredible showing.
Yeah, and overall, I don't even think Yosefu played bad. I think that was just having all of your habits drilled into their head. Like, you're just winning neutral. You're getting these grabs as you just stare down. You looked at Simon, he's cowering. He doesn't even want to look Mewtwo in the eyes, but Mewtwo goes, look at me. Look at me when I'm throwing you. Until finally, he goes up, 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 and away, straight into the blast zone. And you know what that is? That is also saying, I know you're dead here. DI. That was a DI mix-up. That was a giving you a chance to DI, just so you knew that you weren't making it back in the slightest.
Absolutely. And it looks like coming up next for George Washington is a player that I have never seen before. I'm really curious who's going to be brought out by Mississippi State. I wonder if it's going to be Canoe, in-house Jigglypuff player, who I think I actually mentioned earlier today during a different series. But, I would suspect that's going to be the anchor. Canoe is an incredibly strong player, but Hooks from George Washington University, not a player I've seen before.
Hooks? It's a player I've seen before, and they're going to get mad at me for not remembering who they are. I do know they're one of the seniors. They're one of the players who's been there for a hot second and has had the benefit of the coaching from EDM for a long, long time.
Oh.
But who are they going up against?
It's going to be Connor Sanders, captain of Mississippi State University, filling in that final role. And Connor's going to be mad at me because I know him, but I cannot remember who he plays.
It's the Yoshi.
The Yoshi, that's right. Connor Sanders on the Yoshi in a very wanted match. But Hooks, I'm excited to see what the response is going to be. This is going to be really tough for any player. Taking out Connor Sanders here is going to be hard.
I think I'm starting to figure it out. I think a lot of George Washington was extraordinarily coached for this match. They are for all their matches, but this one in particular, they were. And I think the thing that tripped them up was Mr. Man's unpredictability. They put in Cranberry in to hope they could, try and trick them up, but Mr. Man stayed one step ahead. I mean, the early sets too, they lost outright. Here and now, though, I've got a better feeling about this. I really do. Like, just based on that performance, that was a good play. That could have been a player playing very hot if I did not know about the coaching situation.
Yeah. Absolutely. This is a nail biter, Killer Miles. This is a fantastic game or a series to bring in the first day of the new split. This is going to be one that can dictate the story of these teams for the remainder of the split, the remainder of the year in total. I'm very excited. Connor Sanders going up against Hooks. Yoshi versus Incineroar. I cannot wait to see which way this goes.
Now, I feel like every character says this, like, oh, just break the double jump armor. But this is kind of scary because you get Yoshi to a percent very quickly where double jump armor will break, and then you have the power to break it even earlier. So, a lot of game potential, but more than that, look at this. They're still kind of at even percents.
He's going for it. He wants it so bad. 2 tries in a row. He goes for the nuke to be off stage, but not able to find either of them. Now Hooks already 1-6 now. Full Rage Incineroar. Absolutely terrifying, but of course the downside to Rage is you are 1 hit from death almost constantly. And now it's going to be 106 to 159. This feels like the situation where the first stock may not be the most important, as I suspect whoever finds it will lose theirs very soon after.
Yes. Oof. immediately. Hooks trying to zoom on in, throwing these eggs on down, but they can't quite connect. Connor Sanders right now running away with this lead, literally running away as they fish for their combo starter and get the forward tilt. Very nice. Jab lock into the forward tilt, even more damage right now for Connor.
Yeah, Connor, I guess my hypothesis was definitely incorrect. I thought it was going to be one of those situations where it's an immediate trade for trade, but now Connor just herring through hooks, already up to 100% on their second stock. Finally getting Connor down to theirs. Connor getting 102% essentially for free there. That extra credit goes a long way.
Ooh.
Oh,
and I love that. Yoshi floating enough to just linger in there like a hot air balloon, just waiting for you to come on down. And when you do, well, you're going to get punished. And even though Incineroar can juggle you, he does not have the float capacity to remain up there like you do.
Yeah, 100%. I've definitely seen people come back from worse deficits just because Hooks is down. They're by no means out, but at the same time, with a character as consistent as Yoshi and a player as consistent as Connor Sanders, this is, like I mentioned at the beginning, going to be very tough to turn around. Ooh,
yeah, it is, but there is, well, the move is named it for a reason. There is revenge. You do get the Alolan Whip. That's going to finish him off at 65. Percents could be even in one interaction. Percents are even in one interaction.
Oh my goodness, a phenomenal setup there from Hooks. 50%, I'm not going to say for free, but holy cow, a phenomenal way. Last stock, last hit, and the silver lining for Hooks is even if he loses this one, he can come back in a reverse sweep, a 2-1 victory, and actually win the whole thing for his school. It does not all ride right here, right now. But if we are definitely getting to that time, this may be a kill confirm, and he does it. Hooks, with an incredible turnaround there, takes out Connor Sanders in game 1 of set 5 here, the final set between these schools.
One set, and you beat Mississippi again! George Washington, are you just mad?
It's incredible. They go so far out of their way to set this up. They've been practicing. They've been studying this school, and it shows. Hooks with a phenomenal, you can see the rage he's releasing with that side special, the Alolan Whip, and it just puts Connor Sanders down. However, like I said, the same rule goes for Connor. Because he loses that first set, by no means this is over. It sounds like we're jumping right back in, and I truly cannot wait, because if Connor takes this one, that's going to keep us just as close can be. But if Hooks wins this in a 2-0 fashion, that gives George Washington
3, 2, 1,
the points you need. It gives them that magic point. Get the score line you want, and you can see Connor a lot more aware in the early percents of these revenge attempts.
Yeah, Connor doing a lot more spacing, going in for hits he knows he can find rather than looking for ones he might. 73 to 50. Gotta say, Hooks falling a little bit victim. In my opinion, using revenge perhaps a little too often when you miss that move is very punishable, and it hasn't bit Hooks in the butt quite yet, but I'm afraid it will down the line.
Yeah, you got some nice up airs here coming in. As you're trying to get the revenge on the eggs, but even off the top, that's not gonna kill quite yet.
Yeah, the revenge off the eggs, that definitely works. Definitely helps out a little bit. It's just a goofy interaction. Oh, 138, and he's looking for the forward air. I mean, why would you not? It's almost a free kill if it lands at that kind of percent. They are tied to a T. Ooh. Connor Sanders going to be losing that stock first. Let's see how quickly he can take the stock off of Hooks. Hooks in an extra credit scenario, going to miss that Alolan Whip and not find any progress quite yet, but a little bit of progress here, 25% and counting. Hooks really coming in strong.
So many people are convinced that they need to use the side B when they get revenge. Let's just hit them with whatever they can, knowing that that means you can get another revenge later.
Absolutely. We've oh my goodness, wow. We've actually seen Hooks do that a couple of times already, where he will revenge and then just jump forward air or brief dash attack just to get that additional damage. I totally agree. I feel like that's a weakness we see in a lot of Incineroars, is they think, oh, you have to whip when you get that revenge out. And I think that could go a long way for Hooks if they used it a little more aggressively and didn't wait for that side special.
As you're going to be taken out by the back air, but still a significant deficit right now.
56%. That goes a long way, especially against a powerhouse like Incineroar. However, It has been closed just as quickly as it was open. A 1% differential, and Connor clawing back here, trying to take us all the way to game 3. The side special going to be missed, and I talked about this earlier. That move is so punishable if you're not careful. They're both looking for the kill confirm here, Kilamiles, and it's going to be Hooks who almost bites the bullet, but not quite yet. The trade ends in favor of Connor Sanders. He takes that lead once again.
Oh, and now here we go. The up tilt chains are starting, but they waited on the platform right there, and now even stocks.
1-1. It may come down to this. It may take us all the way to a game 3. But either way, if Connor wins this, it's still going to be possible for Hooks. But if Hooks wins this, that brings us to a close with George Washington taking another victory. Is that going to be it?
No.
Oh, the kill screen appears, but there's going to be no follow-up on it quite yet. 81%. Hooks, definitely the adrenaline is pumping, trying to take out Connor Sanders for the second time. Is it going to be possible?
High pressure situation, remember all those habits, remember what you studied, not covering the double jump off a ledge right there, but that was the safest option for Connor. The super armor would have protected you anyway, as now you're just fishing. Where do you find the kill as Hooks sends Connor Sanders off the top?
It's just the up air that kills him. Oh, I'd be molding. That is a desk slam if I've ever seen one, Kilamiles. Not a kill screen, not a DI chance in hell. Oh my goodness, that was just... I'm not going to call it luck for Hooks, but by golly, did that happen when it needed to most.
Oh yeah, it did. I cannot believe my eyes. With the bare minimum of points, George Washington University, they did what I said they had been trying to do. They were the Titan Slayers coming into this season, and then they didn't slay any Titans. The Titans were a little too tall, and they're like, okay, let me go back to the Giants. Well, remember the Titans? I do. Oh my god.
This was the best series I've seen in a very long time. What an incredible showing from everyone here, all 10 players today. Nobody comes to mind where I'm like, they underperform, right? Even the match that I did talk poorly about, that Pit and that Rosalina, very poor. But they both played incredibly well, and I can't take that away from them. Truly a phenomenal showing from both of these schools. And I know that I have to go because I have another broadcast in 15 minutes just with a different organization. But Kilamiles is going to power through, and he's going to give you guys that interview. So, of course, I just want to give my very brief, thank you everybody so much for joining. It was a pleasure to be back. I'm very glad that I'm finally going to be here for the second half of the EGFC season. A great job to Mississippi and George Washington and Fairfield and Sienna. You all killed it. Kilamiles, a pleasure as always. A huge shout out to Devin, our wonderful producer and friend of the back line, for making literally everything that isn't just Kilamiles and I happen. So thank you so much, Devin. Thank you everybody so much for watching. Check your posture, drink some water. Don't forget to love each other, and Kilamiles will be back with an interview in just a minute.
Welcome back, everybody, to the spring split of EGFC. I am Keel Miles here with EDM, the coach of George Washington University, after a massive upset win. EDM, how you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. I just real quick want to say MSU is a great team, and seriously, I mean, they played very well today. I real quick, I know you'll probably ask me about some of the stuff, but I gotta give a big shout out to Mewtwo, PokeBlue, Liam. He fucking came out of nowhere and pulled up on one of the best players in this league. I mean, Yosefu's a fantastic player. Regardless of his matchup experience, PokeBlue did super well. And, there were other wins, but I think everyone played super well today, including also James, the Incineroar. But yeah, sorry.
No, it's great to hear that respect for everyone, competitors and players alike for your team. So very glad to hear that. But I know you play a very big role. Your players are always shouting you out in interviews about helping you get ready for matchups. And I'm not going to ask you to leak any strats, but are there any strengths that you have been honing in the players specifically for this matchup?
I would say the strengths in this, this matchup for today, it was Cran, PokeBlue, Steve, Drip Van Winkle, my favorite, and Big James. And I would say those were the big five. That's what really won us today. I mean, I didn't do nearly as much as you think. I seriously give my hats off to everyone. On MSU, they played great, but GW just, clutched it up. So, seriously, wow. I was blown away by some of these guys today. Again, especially PokeBlue. We were down did not anticipate that sort of win. I thought he could win it. I just didn't think the first game would be a 2-stock, which really was important for that Connor Sanders versus Hooks.
Yeah. Just those tiny little bits of points just kept adding up. And I remember I almost wrote you off. I'm like, okay, here comes Yosefu coming in. But no, your players really came in clutch. And I just want to reiterate and let you say that again, let you talk more about how good they are. You're really saying that this wasn't like a specifically trained victory. Your players just really stepped up themselves to bring themselves here?
No, I think honestly everyone's been improving. I mean, the Rosalina and some other players like I try and work with, but I would be lying if I said I can take the credit for this win at all. I mean, it was like, the Rose has been grinding, the Roy's been grinding, not as much. He's still really good, but Drip Van Winkle and James and PokeBlue just like rolling up. And honestly, it was a real treat watching his Mewtwo. We're going to try and get him back. He was able to play today. Usually he has some, conflict schedules, but he's a really, really good player, and he's a nice kid, so hopefully he can come back. But either way, I mean, wow, like MSU, again, I don't want to like pretend like they're not a good team. They're super good. It just wasn't their day today, and today it was just a G-dub, I guess. I'm super pumped, yeah. And also what helped is, we switch up the roster too. I always talk about that. We decided to sit this one Bowser main, and it paid off. So maybe we'll be doing that a little bit more, maybe we won't. Just depends on the matchups we're looking at. But it was pretty good today.
Yeah, well, that is very good to hear, making sure everyone gets their chance to play when it's appropriate, but also having the proper composition for when you really need it in matchups like these. And speaking of matchups like these, this was the upset that you got last year, if I'm remembering correctly, right?
Yeah. I'm not gonna lie, I would be lying if I said I did not really want to win this, and I did not have this in my mind for a little bit. And we're just having fun. That's the most important thing, but winning's definitely more fun. So yeah, we're keeping that in mind. They're a super good team, really respectable, but yeah, it's a G-dub, baby. I'm thrilled. Everyone's thrilled. Everyone's, popping off, and
listen,
yeah, it was great.
They're a super good team, and they showed it. But today, you and your players were the better players just in this moment right here, and you have everything to be proud of. So, moving forward, last question. What does this win mean for you about George Washington University's prospects going forward into the spring split?
I mean, honestly, as you can see, we got the lethal, couple of players. We got, I don't want to name one specifically, but even though, I mean, I can't help but do it. I mean, PokeBlue, Liam, he popped off. Sorry, I'm just so ecstatic. He did so well today. And what this means going forward is we just also have other people who are hidden bosses. They just don't really play the online thing, but now they're getting to play the online thing. And if you think PokeBlue's good, I mean, there's other people, there's other players. I don't want to say what characters they main because it's also going to be a matchup thing, but we got all sorts of people in store, and I'm telling you, this year we're going to kill it. I mean, this is just the beginning. They're a really good team, and I feel like if we can beat them, we just got to stay consistent and put that sort of energy towards other schools. But yeah, I'm ecstatic. And again, huge shout out to all the players. James clutching it up. I mean, that Yoshi Connor, he's really good, but it wasn't his day. And Yosefu is just a beast. But I don't think he was familiar with the matchup, and I don't think PokeBlue, I don't think he loses those. He's just damn good. So, yeah. And Steve won it, but even the players who did not win it, they did pretty well. I do think everyone did respectably well.
And that's always great to hear. I really do think that was a pretty balanced performance all throughout the night, and I'm really happy to see such pride in your players. But for now, EDM, thank you so much for your time, and I just want to wish you the best of luck going forward into this spring slit.
Yeah, and I just thank you Devin, and thank you commentators. You guys are great. I just want to thank EGF for always doing a good job. You guys are fantastic, and production's behind the scenes making things work, and you commentators are always putting in the work, so I appreciate all you guys. putting this together and letting us, have such a fun night tonight. So that's all thanks to you guys and your arc. So thanks, guys.
Of course, and we are very grateful for that. Thanks. But for now, we are just going to go to a quick break. So once again, thank you for your time, EDM. Thank you so much for coming out here. But like I said, we are going to go to a quick break. When we return, I will be back with a new co-commentator. We've got Ubel hopping on the mic, so stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few minutes.